You've been lied to your entire life about what actually attracts women, not by your friends, not by movies, not even by women themselves. The truth is, most women genuinely don't know why they're attracted to certain men. It's buried deep in psychology, hidden from their own conscious mind. And today, I'm going to expose exactly what's really happening beneath the surface. Once you see this, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Here's the problem most men face. You followed the advice. You were nice. You were respectful. You listened. You did everything you were told would make you attractive. And yet, nothing. She said she wanted a guy who listens, then dated the guy who barely texts back. She said she wants kindness, then chased the guy who treats her like an option. And you're sitting there thinking, what am I doing wrong? Here's the answer nobody wants to say out loud. The advice you were given was never about attraction. It was about being acceptable. There's a massive difference between a woman tolerating you and a woman being genuinely drawn to you. And most men have no idea this gap even exists. You're not failing because you're flawed. You're failing because you were taught the wrong game entirely. Let me show you what I mean. A friend of mine, let's call him Daniel, did everything right on paper. Good job. In shape. Well-dressed. Polite. He met a girl at a party. They talked for hours. He asked thoughtful questions, remembered details, followed up the next day with a kind message. She replied once, then ghosted. 2 weeks later, he sees her Instagram story. She's with some guy who showed up late, barely talked to her, and left early that same night. Daniel couldn't understand it. But here's what he missed. He was performing. The other guy was just existing. Daniel was trying to earn attraction. The other guy acted like he already had it. And that difference? It's everything. Another guy I know, we'll call him Marcus, spent 3 years as a woman's emotional support. Late night calls when she was upset, advice when she needed it. Always available. Always caring. He finally told her how he felt. She said, "You're like a brother to me. I don't want to ruin what we have." A month later, she started dating a guy she'd known for 2 weeks. Marcus was devastated. He thought loyalty and emotional investment would be rewarded. But here's the brutal truth. Attraction isn't a reward for good behavior. It's not a transaction. You can't earn it by being useful. Marcus wasn't her potential partner, he was her emotional utility. And those are two completely different categories in her mind. Here's one that might hit closer to home. A guy, let's call him Jay, spent months on dating apps. Good photos, genuine bio, thoughtful openers. Out of 200 matches, maybe 10 replied. Out of those 10, maybe 2 agreed to meet. Both flaked. He started doubting everything about himself. His looks, his worth, his future. What Jay didn't realize is that dating apps are designed to make most men feel invisible. The top 10% of men get 90% of the attention. Everyone else fights for scraps. It's not a level playing field. It's an attention economy, and most men are bankrupt in it. Jay wasn't unworthy. He was just playing a rigged game without knowing the rules. So what's actually going on here? Why do the wrong guys seem to win? Why does logic fail? Here's the truth most people won't tell you. Attraction isn't logical. It's psychological. Women don't consciously choose who they're attracted to, just like you don't consciously choose which women catch your eye. It happens beneath the surface. It's driven by evolutionary psychology, emotional triggers, and subconscious pattern recognition. Let me break it down. Women are biologically wired to notice status signals. Not just money, but social proof, confidence, and how others treat you. When you walk into a room and people acknowledge you. When you speak and others listen. When you're comfortable being the center of attention. That triggers attraction. Not because she's shallow, but because her brain is reading survival cues. Here's one that frustrates men endlessly. Predictability kills attraction. When you're always available, always agreeable, always texting back instantly, you remove all mystery, all tension, all emotional investment. The guys who don't seem to care trigger something different. Curiosity, uncertainty, emotional engagement. It's not that being cold works. It's that being too available backfires. This is the big one. Who's leading the interaction? Who sets the tone? Who's reacting to whom? When you constantly seek her approval, laugh too hard at her jokes, agree with everything, mirror her energy, you're handing her the frame. And the moment she holds the frame, you become the follower, the chaser. Attraction rarely flows upward. It flows toward whoever holds the frame. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable, because I have to tell you something most men don't want to hear. It doesn't matter how good your heart is. It doesn't matter that you genuinely like her. Attraction isn't based on your intentions. It's based on how you make her feel. You could be the best man on earth, and if you don't trigger the right feelings, it won't matter. That sounds harsh. But understanding this will save you years of confusion. When a woman says, just be yourself, or just be nice, she's not trying to deceive you. She genuinely believes it. Because she's describing what she thinks she wants, consciously. But conscious preferences and subconscious attraction are two different things. She wants to want the nice guy. But that's not how attraction works. This isn't her fault. It's just psychology. Not ugly. Not bad. Just invisible. You're not triggering anything. Not attraction. Not repulsion. Just nothing. And nothing might be the worst place to be. Because at least if she felt something negative, you'd exist in her world. Invisible means forgettable. And forgettable means you never had a chance. Now, if you're feeling a knot in your stomach right now, if this is hitting places you don't want to look at, I want you to know something important. You're not broken. You were just given a broken map. Society told you that kindness equals attraction. That effort equals results. That fairness exists in dating. It doesn't. And the fact that you're confused isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you were trusting a system that was never honest with you. You did what you were told. You followed the script, and the script was wrong. That's not your failure. That's the world failing to prepare you. So stop blaming yourself for not winning a game you were never taught to play. You're not behind. You're just waking up. So where do you go from here? First, stop playing their game. Stop trying to convince women to like you. Stop performing. Stop chasing validation. Start building gravity instead. What does that mean? It means becoming the kind of man that others are drawn to, not because you're trying, but because of who you are. Here's what actually works. 1. Develop outcome independence. Stop needing her to like you. Talk to her like you're genuinely curious, not like your happiness depends on her response. When you remove the desperation, everything shifts. 2. Build a life worth joining. Your mission, your goals, your circle, your body, your mind. When your life is full, women become a complement, not the source of your worth. 3. Hold your frame. Stop abandoning your opinions to please her. Stop laughing at things that aren't funny. Stop agreeing just to avoid conflict. Have a backbone. Have standards. Have boundaries. That's not arrogance. That's self-respect. And self-respect is magnetic. 4. Create tension, don't kill it. Stop filling every silence. Stop over-explaining. Stop being available 24/7. Let there be space. Let her wonder. Let her invest. Attraction grows in the gap between interactions, not in constant availability. Here's the final truth I want to leave you with. Women aren't the enemy. Psychology is just the game. She's not evil for being attracted to certain traits. You're not weak for not knowing this earlier. We're all running on software we didn't write. The difference now is you can see the code. You understand that attraction isn't about being nice or mean. It's about emotional impact. You understand that chasing doesn't work, that neediness repels, that certainty attracts. You understand that the nice guy path was never about attraction, it was about safety. And safety doesn't create desire, it creates tolerance. So here's your choice. Keep playing by rules that don't work, or rewrite your entire approach based on what's actually true. The men who win aren't luckier. They aren't better looking. They aren't richer. They just understand what others refuse to learn. And now so do you. If this hit different, drop a comment. Let me know what landed. Subscribe if you want more content that tells you what others won't. Stay sharp. Stay aware. Stay becoming the man you were meant to be. I'll see you in the next one.